This is a magic blind box button. After pressing it, I do not know what will pop up a thing. Press it again and another one will pop up. The room is full of such buttons, but all they open are useless. Can't help him get out of this weird room. So the man began to let himself go. He wanted to see how many times the same button could be used, until he accidentally pressed another button. The man turned around and slapped his hand in anger. Now he understood. Nothing in this room is surprising. In the blink of an eye, the number of useless things in the room increased again. The man lay down on the chair in despair. I don't know when I'll be able to leave this hellhole. The more he thought about it, the more angry he became, throwing the ball with his hand. And this time a sushi fell out of the wall. He was hungry, but there was no soy sauce. How can he eat this? The man looks around and tries his luck. A random click is sushi again. Try another one. Still sushi. This is the same as eating steak without black pepper. What is the difference? But it's better to have something to eat than to die of hunger. The man finished all the sushi, feeling a little choked. He wanted to drink a glass of water, but this time, he pressed the button and got a bottle of soy sauce. Man had nothing better to do than to eat. Press the next button again. This time, a pair of 3D glasses fell out. This is a magic button. Pressing it will drop random items. The room is full of such buttons. The man has been trapped here for a long time. He puts on his 3D glasses and looks into the room. He sees a little angel on the wall. The man is excited, thinks he has found the button to get out. He pushes the button. The room goes black. A terrifying countdown appears behind him. The buttons on the wall begin to fade away. A huge unidentified object fell from the sky. Few more days passed. The man began to read comics to pass the time, but he didn't expect that this could torture him. The man finished reading the 5th episode of the manga, pressing the button beside him. The one that popped up was episode 7. Change the button and it's episode 8. Then it was episode 9, but there is no episode 6 that he wants to see. Who can understand this pain? The man continued to try. This time, a strange door appeared behind him. When he reacted, the door was gone, but he forgot which one he had just pressed. He had to take his chances. Try again. This time, the man was right and excitedly ran over. As a result, the button popped up and the door closed. There was nothing he could do. He could only come back and press one again to speed up the past, but still cannot catch up. The third time he decided to use the assisted run, still just a little short. After many attempts, he finally understood the principle of the button, so he brought in the heaviest vase in the room, but he underestimated the force of the button's bouncing ruler. It seemed that he had to find a way to fill the vase first. The man pressed a button with his foot. Immediately, it rained heavily overhead. He tried to fill the vase with water, but the water only poured on his head. He changed positions. The water he received was not enough to water the flowers, so he came up with a new idea. Aimed the vase at the exit of the sushi. He started pressing the button over and over again. Soon the vase was filled up, but also because it was too full he could not move. He tried to pull out the vase with his hands, but the opening was too small. He couldn't reach in with his hands. Fortunately, he can also use chopsticks. Now he could finally move it, but he forgot which button it was just now. Then let's try again. He pressed it at random. The man from earlier appeared again, kicked down the vase. The man was so angry that he collapsed. This half-day tossed again for nothing. He directly grabbed the rice and pressed the button on the door really opened, but the next second, the man found the tape to tighten the button. Seems like success. He turned his head and ran to press the door, but never thought, this button is also too stiff. He got another piece of iron and taped it to the ground again, directly to the door, but the button is very competitive. Once again prick up. He was so angry that he was spinning around the house, until he accidentally opened a lanyard. He pulled up the rope and swung easily to the door. It turned out that the door was locked. Need a key to open. Before the door fell down, he rushed back to the room. Almost did not break a bone. He was so angry that he kicked at the wall. Surprisingly, the key was opened by accident. He was about to walk over to it, but the key was gone. He went back to the same place and tried to press it again, but he forgot which button he had just pressed. Why not just find a similar one? In shock, he avoids the previous button, pressed another one. He crouched down to avoid the dog's position. He tried a third time with his heart pounding. This time, he finally got it right and marked the button. Used the quickest lanyard to get the opposite key. The result ignored the problem of distance. Simply cannot reach A. The biggest difference between humans and animals is the use of tools. The man set his eyes on the tool in front of him. A series of fancy operations. Finally succeeded in getting the key. Opened the door in a smooth manner. When the rope reaches the door, the key is the right one, but the door could not be opened. Looked up and saw that there was a combination lock. He had to walk back into the room. He pulled it off in anger and threw it out. The person before he accidentally hit the button appeared again. The two looked at each other awkwardly for a few seconds. The man left in silence. It took him a while to realize the number on the man's head is not the password, so he did it again. Successfully unlocked the combination lock. At this time, the hidden door behind him fell. Due to the lack of space, the door was stuck. He couldn't get in and couldn't get out. He was in despair in the small space. A gust of wind blew from the side. The man reached out his hand. Next to him was a sliding door. He got up and ran in, desperately running forward through this seemingly endless corridor. He thought he had finally escaped, but when he looked up, he came to another room full of buttons.